Well, on the record, with the exception of a few guitar solos, I think you play all the instruments yourself. When did you decide to do this?
I mean, I've kind of been doing that for a while. I went through a period where I wanted to learn every instrument. Like I wanted to learn how to play drums, and I wanted to learn how to play bass and saxophone and piano, and it just keeps it really interesting to me.
Is there still an instrument you haven't learned that you still would like to learn?
Yeah, I think my favorite instrument is a cello. Yeah, but I don't know how to play the stringed instruments, you know, like the
Never
violin.
tried, or?
I've tried, but it sounds awful. It sounds terrible. It takes a really long time to learn how to play it well. But yeah, I just like to. I always went around to like junk sales and bought like cheap, like a mandolin or a accordion or something. It keeps it interesting for me, and it's when. I mean, I've mostly just recorded music in like alone in my room for years and didn't have other musicians around a lot of the time, so kind of if I wanted to hear a song that I had in my head, I had to play the drums, I had to play the guitar, I had to play like everything myself. And it's fun, and at this point it's like an easier, quicker way to make a record.
Okay, so well, I was going to ask you, especially in terms of recording it, isn't it a lot more arduous than?
It takes a long time, yeah, but I mean, I don't have to explain the bass line to somebody else, you know. I feel like that's a lot harder for me to do sometimes than just do it myself. So it takes a lot longer. Like I have to record the drum track and then the guitar and then another guitar and another guitar and the bass and the blah, 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 just keep layering and layering and layering. But I don't know, it's really fun. It's really fun. I find it fulfilling, like hearing a song from track to track, just build and build and build until it's done, you know.
And also in the sense then that you can play it exactly the way you want it?
Yeah, that's a big part, like control over the sound. So yeah, when I'm making a record, I have a really clear idea of what I want, so it's easier for me to just do it and play it. But then like now I'm on tour with a live band, and it's different, you know, like everybody plays music differently, and all my friends come from our bandmates come from very different like backgrounds and have different ways of like interpreting the music that I recorded. So it's like a whole different experience to me, and they're both like side by side, very different, but both are very fun, fulfilling. Yeah.
Do they still feel the same then, or is it just another interpretation of the same thing?
Do they feel the same?
Yeah. Then, well, no. If you play the song yourself, and then now you have to translate it for your band.
It feels similar, but it does feel different. You know, it doesn't feel like the same song sometimes to me. You know, it's a lot less. There's like, I can't control as much. It's a lot louder. It's a lot more chaotic. It's a lot more just like trying to hold on to like what the basic structure of the song is, and so it's like more exciting in that way. And you have like, you know, the crowd, and you have like the venue and the sound, and it's just yeah, it's different. I definitely appreciate both of them for different reasons, you know. Yeah, they're both fun to me, but it's just very different.
Well, on the record, there's one song you still record all by yourself and not in the studio.
Yeah.
I think it's "Don't Let Go," but.
Yeah, "Don't Let Me Go." Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you decide to do this song all by yourself? And record it by yourself as well?
Well, I wrote. I do what like just I want to say like before I take the record to a studio and start working on it, I demo everything out by myself at home, like pretty extensively, just to find the arrangements and fine tune everything. And that's what I did with this song. But this song I wrote, you know, it's just an acoustic guitar and voice. and I wrote it really quickly based off like what was happening in my life, like, you know, the day before. You know, it was really like personal. I felt it. It came really quickly, and I recorded it. And it's not perfect, of course. There's like things that would have changed. And then I tried to re-record it in the studio a couple times, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. Like, it didn't sound the same. It sounded really like forced and really. It didn't sound like intimate or immediate enough to me. So eventually I just decided to use the earlier version.
Well, is that important, that to capture the emotion that went into the songwriting,
Yeah.
to have that?
No, definitely. And especially like it's easier to reinterpret, it's easier to redo bigger songs with a lot of stuff going on. But something like that, just an acoustic guitar and a voice, like, it's really important to keep it immediate and keep it like emotionally, make it feel, have the final thing on the record be like emotionally satisfying and real, you know, not forced or contrived in any way. So yeah, with a song like that, it just, you know, I record it just alone in my room, but when I tried to record it in front of other people at a studio, you know, with like microphones everywhere and blah blah blah, just, it was really uncomfortable. Yeah, so overall, I mean, to make sure you maintain like the emotion of the song is really important.